Hello everybody, this is MKWii and welcome back to another episode of Custom Track Monthly, this time the April episode. So basically, this series shows off a bunch of the new MKWii custom tracks that were released this month, or, well, whichever month you're watching, in this case, April 2018. The track releases are based on the custom MKWii wiki, and I might skip a few that were actually released when I don't think they are good enough to be featured. Some of like people's first custom tracks that aren't that great. So if you want to see everything that has been released when it comes to MKWii modding, then you can check out the news section at wiki.talkdom.com, link in description. I will also not be listing the April Fool's tracks, which were released on April 1st this year. I have a separate video on all those custom tracks if you want to check that out. Link in the top right in the card and also in the description. So let's get started with the first track. First up, we have Rainbow Galaxy, created by a noob. I'm gonna read some of the wiki page right here. The name was suggested by Kitty Cat, a friend of the author. The track is inspired by elements from various Rainbow roads, including SNES, GBA, 3DS, and Wii, with colorful textures and shortcuts. So here we show a lap, and there's a few different routes, or, well, not in this one, but if the track has different routes, I'll be sure to show them off as well. So this section, you can kind of choose where to go, and these edges are trickable. I don't think any of the two is faster. I'm not quite sure. So you get into a cannon onto this wavy Rainbow Road wavy thing section here. It's pretty cool. Up next is these platforms, I guess, that you trick off of. You can trick off the last one, but I hopped over it instead. So then there's the split path here, with if you use a shroom, then you can actually get up onto this platform and skip having to go down there. I'll show you the normal route later on. And a weird, like, kind of almost sketchy road that brings you back to the start. And a must trick ramp. If you don't trick there, you're dead. So here's the normal route. Goes down below. Up next, 3DS Rosalina's Ice World, created by Mystery and Skipper. It's still in beta right now, but it's definitely a really good port, especially when it comes to the the visuals of it. You can't see already. There's one big complaint that I have about the track, which is these edges. They push you back almost at like a 90-degree angle from the wall. It's very strange. I'll show you later on how that can really screw you over. Like that, like, just look at that. That's kind of strange. Alright, so here's the upper section, which I don't think you can really make after lap 2, where the beginning section falls down into the spiral. Is this spiral a U-turn? Slippery, and these things break. Leading up to a ramp. I'll show you the two alternative routes after the finish here. I almost fell off and I hit the snow here. So here's the underwater section. You can probably still make it with a shroom now that I look at it. So here you can check on these bumps, I guess. And here's the alternative route, which you probably should take because it has boost panels, and I don't see any reason why not to. So here's a little clip of me falling off due to the weird arrow thingies. It just points you directly towards the gap. Up next, we have Sunset Forest, created by KevVG27 and Redeffy. The original design of the track was created by Luigi 45000 VR. This is a remake of a pretty old track from 2010. It's mostly a visual overhaul, as opposed to actually changing much. There's one big change that you'll see in a moment. There's also a few grass shortcuts added. So the big change is these mushrooms here. They're basically 3 giant mushrooms now instead of a long long path of just one wide mushrooms. And that's basically it for the track. Up next we have Rainbow Float Land, created by LGMB. The track combines land floating in space, a mushroom area, and a rainbow road section. It features stars of various colors. There's also a hidden area in the track which features a password that can be used to extract the character Touring Biker Daisy texture. So I'm going to show you a few different routes. There's basically two routes that you can take at the beginning here. I made a full video on this track, exploring the secret that I just mentioned. So the only way I could actually consistently pull off this mushroom section is by going to the right there. That may not be the optimal route. Into a cannon and some shortcuts on the right and left here. This next turn there's a shortcut with another mushroom on the right there that you'll see later on. Here's another cannon. I wish you could like drive on the inside, but nope. I thought you could do that the first time I saw it. And there's another shortcut on the right there. And I'll go straight into it. I don't need no cutting needed. We just go straight into the second section right here, taking the right path. And there's another shortcut that I will show off. That well, it has something on the map, so I thought I might as well show it off later. You can go on the right there and use the shroom. Here's the shortcut with the mushroom. Don't mind the POW. I mean, it's totally doable without that POW. Just kind of an unlucky timing there. And here's that shortcut that I mentioned. That brings you to the mushroom section again. Next up, we have Dragon Burying Grounds by Monthlii Mario Kart DS. It features a lava-themed valley with huge fire pillars and a stronghold section where the race starts at. So you'll see those huge fire pillars in a moment. Right here in the distance. That is a gigantic fire pillar. Yeah, and there's a shortcut you can take. I'll show it off later. And also a way not to take the shortcut, which is kind of a blooper. You'll see it later as well. So I didn't realize it up till now, but all those like white edges around the road are actually trickable, and you'll see me start doing it later. There's two routes here, left and right. They're basically the same, but you have to do a U-turn at the end here. However, there's a very easy skip using those white edges. I notice here you can trick on them, so I keep doing that now. It's totally faster if you do it properly, I guess, since, you know, you get infinite tricks on that section of the road. And this leads into a spiral that leads into what appears to be some I don't know, that's a gigantic crocodile alligator or something. I don't even know. It looks like it's made of stone or something. Also get wrecked, Koopa Troopa. So alright, I think now we're gonna get to the shortcut here. As you can see, the fire pillar blocks it sometimes, which you'll see that later. And of course you can also now use those edges to take a bit of a shortcut here as well. And here comes the very easy free shortcut that you can do that just skips the entire U-turn there. That's that. So here's not how to take the shortcut. Yeah, I just got decimated by the fire pillar. Up next, Huego Castle. Probably not pronounced properly. Apparently that means fire in Spanish. So this is a custom track model that was made by SpyKid back in 2012, and PT Pix decided to finish it and actually make it into a track. in April here. It's based off of Bowser's Castle, and well, it mostly appears to be N64 Bowser Castle at this point. And yeah, it's not a very detailed track or anything. It's kind of an old model, you can kind of tell. It's Spy Kid from 2012, I guess. There's some fire spinners, I don't know what to call those. And some not really a mushroom section there. Also, there's this little turn at the end, which is totally not fast. You'll see it later, or in a moment. You can actually just kind of cut this section. There's a boost panel right after it, so it's probably faster than just going all the way around. Up next, we have Funky's Dream. It's the first custom track by Alex97. It features 2 different stadiums and a sky section with cannons and multiple roads. It's a 2-lap track. And I thought it was pretty cool to drive on. So you can do the Waluigi wall clip thing there, I don't know what to call it, but yeah, I just kind of failed that massively in this lap here. So you can trick on all these things as well. And there's a little ramp here. I don't know if it's faster than taking the turn tight there. More ramps into a section that's just full of half pipes, basically. And 90-degree turns, so it's obviously faster to just stick to the half pipes here and take the turns as tight as possible. I think that's really cool. Here again, you can basically just skip this entire turn like that, and then manage to dodge that blue with the star. So here's some cannons. I guess it says don't shock here, because people can dodge this. I would not recommend using shocks in this area, because it's very easy to dodge. So there's this section, if you have a shroom you can make it there. It might be possible to like jump off the edge, hop off the edge and land on the boost panels down there. I don't know. And I'm not going to show you, like if you look at the map, there's 3 different routes to this final section. I'm going to show you the fastest route. You can play it yourself, but they are really long, and just take the fastest route. That's really what you should do here. The bullet bill also takes the fastest route, little trivia. So there's this shortcut, which I kind of failed. It's a thing you can do, I guess. Next up we have Evening Harbor, created by GU. So this track is divided into 5 sections. I guess I'll read the description on the wiki as we approach each section here. So the first section is a small garden with trees that leads to the village. The second section is the village itself, with some shops, a statue of Princess Daisy, and some pianos. There's also a shortcut that goes through the buildings, which I'll show off later. The third section is the cargo section, as the bridge is under construction. You have to make a detour to continue the race. So here's the cargo section on the right here. I guess you go on a cargo ship or something? I don't know why a ship has a hole in it, but sure, I don't even... The fourth section consists of a cavern that will bring the player up into the mountains, then back to the plains by driving on the road of the mountain. So here's the spiral through the mountain. There's going to be another shortcut on the left, which again I'll show later. And you just follow this down. It's kind of hard to see where the edges are when the edge of the road is like the same color as the road itself. But here we go. Finally, a path in the plains brings the player back to the garden. And I get blued again. So this final section here is just a little bridge that brings you back to the beginning area. It's kind of a boring straight section at the end here. I don't know. I mean, I wish this could have been something, but that's just me. So here's the shortcut. It's like, kind of missed that ramp, but you can take that ramp. And then there is this shortcut here, which you can do better since I hit the wall, but there we go. That's just the shortcut through the town, and the shortcut on the left here, also Ripto that can land right over here. But you can also trick off of the sides there and shroom. You don't even need a shroom to trick on it though. You have to be careful, you can hit the grass. Second to last, we have GCN Luigi Circuit by Talk. Now this is basically a direct port from the GameCube, except that it misses some of the original Shadow maps, unfortunately. It's basically a flawless port with basically everything in it, except, you know, there's no tricks on anything, since the original one didn't have it either. The only thing that I have to say about this is that it's way too dark. Like, it is actually way too dark. Like, legit. So I'm gonna show a little comparison to what I think it should look like. It's just, I just kind of mess with the brightness and contrast settings here. Yeah, it is way dark. You can see it best on this straightaway section. Yeah. Oh well, I mean, it's cool. That's a perfect port. But yeah. Last but not least, we have Gothic Castle, created by quite a few people. Spike It Sky, or Psy, I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that, and Sneaky. So this track has existed since 2017, since actually January of 2017. However, it's received some substantial updates, some graphical changes, and track design layout changes, so I thought I might as well show it in here. The update was done by Sneaky earlier this month. So I think it's a pretty cool track, and kind of strange how I hadn't seen it before, even though it existed since the beginning of 2017. But the spiral section has been made differently, I believe. The original one had like a way wide spiral. It's way too slow and boring. Yeah, there's basically, you can go above or below here. I don't think there's much of a difference, except you can trick off of that. So I would suggest going up. Then this platform section, or you go downhill and end up at some thwomps here. And if you don't hit the off-road, it's a nice drift downwards to some ramps in the lava. I guess those look like wood ramps, but they're like in lava. I don't know how that works. But there's two paths, left and right. So the left path is this. You go down this section. This section is really kind of boring, bland, empty, and finally get back to the more detailed section here, or at least less boring, you know. Oh well, and the other route you'll see later isn't that much different when it comes to being bland, but yeah. So a few ramps, you can skip some of the track there as well. So a little bit of skipping. And now there's this ramp. I don't really know what to do with it. Maybe you can like shroom across if you have a shroom at the end of lap 1. And then this is the right route, and this one's like even more boring. It's just a spiral down, and there's nothing really there. I think this might actually be faster. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like it's faster. So that's it for this month. If you want to see everything that was released from MKWii, including texture hacks and custom characters vehicles, you can check out the custom Marco wiki, wiki.talkdumb.com, link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.